Hi everyone, welcome back to A Piece of Chrissy. I'm Chrissy and I'm here to help you harness the current cosmic shifts to live a life of peace, clarity and purpose. Today we're diving into the week from March 10th to March 16th, which is when things are starting to kick off. We have several powerful transits shaking up all sorts of different areas of our lives. It's going to be intense, and it's only the beginning of what the month of March has in store for us. So buckle up, it's going to be a wild ride. Let's start with Tuesday. On March 11th, Mercury teams up with Venus in retrograde in Aries. This combination affects how we communicate in matters of love and self-worth. Now, typically, Mercury conjuncting Venus is a very smooth and pleasant transit. It gives a certain charm and artfulness to our words and to our communication. However, because this time around Venus is in retrograde, and because this is happening in Aries, the energy becomes a lot more complex and thus challenging. Because Aries energies is not so much about whispering sweet nothings. Aries energy wants to show and express its love through bold actions. Aries is all about self-expression and self-actualization and being an individual. And while these are all qualities that are important and good and essential for growth, they don't tend to mix all that well with the more communicative, cooperative, and relationship-focused nature of Mercury and Venus. So this can lead to conflicts, especially for those who already have a lot of fiery energy in their charts. This might just end up taking it a little bit over the top, and you may end up overwhelming those in your field with your, let's say, enthusiasm. Conversely, if you have very little fiery energy in your chart, it's also possible that you kind of swing from one extreme to the other, especially if you've been giving a lot in your relationships without taking time to nurture yourself. And that's because you just simply don't have that much practice in dealing with fiery energy. So when it happens, it can be a little bit much and just explode. Any unresolved relationship issues, those teeny tiny drops of resentment, have high potential of bubbling up on Tuesday. This can be in any relationships. It's not just romantic relationships, it's anybody that you care about. Because when we truly care, we're more likely to engage in heated debates rather than just walking away and distancing ourselves. If an argument does happen on Tuesday, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Actually, it's going to make the relationship grow. But if you do find yourself in a heated debate and in a heated conversation on Tuesday, just remember these 5 best practices for having good and productive arguments. Number 1, stay focused. Zero in on the core issues. Don't get distracted by all the other stuff that might be mildly irritating, that someone once did, they left their socks in the corner without picking them up. It doesn't matter. Focus on the core issue at hand. Number 2, leave the past in the past. Don't dredge up old arguments that have already been resolved. Nothing good has ever come out of that, I promise you. Number 3, listen actively. Allow space for other people to talk without interrupting them. Number 4, own your words. Offer sincere apologies when necessary and take responsibility. Nobody wants to hear, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way anymore. No one. And number 5, if things get overly heated, do feel free to take a break. If you sense emotions welling up and coloring the way you see things and the way you communicate, take a break, gather your thoughts. Just don't leave it too long, because the longer you leave it, the more difficult it's going to be to broach that subject and come back to that topic again. Ultimately, this transit is about moving relationships forward, whether that's deepening those ones that you value or letting go of the ones that no longer serve you. On Wednesday, March 12th, Saturn then conjuncts the Sun in Pisces, merging our essence, our individuality with the structured, disciplined approach of Saturn, all under the dreamy and intuitive influence of Pisces. Saturn often gets a bad reputation because his lessons can be harsh. On the flip side, his rewards are also better than anybody else's. But if we're avoiding the things that we know we should be doing, then Saturn will call us out and it might sting a little bit. So when the Sun joins Saturn in Pisces, what we're getting is essentially like a cosmic report card. Are we working diligently towards a higher purpose? Are we taking concrete steps towards making our dreams a reality? So take this opportunity to review your long-term goals, reflect on your progress. If you've been consistent, you might already start seeing results. You're probably going to have a really good time with this transit. If not, take the time to course correct. Incorporate structured spiritual practices like meditation or guided journaling in order to ground your dreams into reality. And if this transit kind of sucks for you and you are facing challenges, view them as lessons that are supposed to help you grow and push you forward. Then Friday, March 14th, brings a total lunar eclipse in the sign of Virgo, which is pretty much the biggest news of the week. This will impact your health, your daily routines, and your attention to detail. Eclipses in Virgo are known to shake up our habits and force change. And with this one and its opposition to Saturn and trine to Uranus at the same time, we can expect those themes to be particularly prominent. You might notice sudden fluctuations in your energy, moments of high alertness followed by crashes. Some health-related symptoms are also not uncommon. Things like headaches, fatigue, or just feeling out of sync in your body. Even digestive issues. It's because Virgo rules our health, and so these effects are very real and very tangible. And that will be the case especially for those of you who have any placements along the Pisces-Virgo axis, particularly if you have your Sun or your Moon in those two signs. My advice is take extra care of yourself and your health. Hydrate, eat nourishing foods, and make sure you do get as much sleep as you can. Also be flexible because you might have to change your plans at short notice. Use this eclipse as an opportunity to review your daily routines and your health habits where necessary. And once the intensity finally passes, you may find that your perspective on everyday life has shifted for the better. On Saturday, March 15th, Mercury then stations retrograde in Aries, marking the start of a period where communication and decision-making can become a little bit chaotic. So the intense energy from the lunar eclipse will not yet have passed at this point. Mercury has already gone retrograde, and this is going to make it very difficult for our logical minds to figure out what the hell just happened. Don't be surprised if you're feeling confused, disoriented, and without a plan and without a direction forward. The standard advice for Mercury retrograde is that we shouldn't be making any long-term plans, and we shouldn't be starting new projects, and we certainly should not be signing any contracts. On this occasion, I do thoroughly recommend that you heed this advice. There's so much confusion in the air, there's so much chaotic energy, and our minds are going to be out of whack, and you really don't want to be making decisions that will be impacting you long term on such a shaky basis. Now, sometimes we can't help that. Sometimes circumstances force our hand, and if that's the case for you, then just make sure you take extra time to review things, to think things through before you make any long-term commitments. In this chaos, with all the Pisces energy that's still around, our intuition is going to be the best and most reliable guide. but our intuition is going to need a little bit of quiet space in order to be heard over the chaotic energy of Mercury going backwards through Aries. So just slow down, take time to reflect, and definitely do not rush into any decisions that will have a long-term impact on your life. So what does all this mean for you? This is a week of intense shifts, and they are only setting the stage for more chaos later on in March. Here's a quick recap. Mercury conjunct Venus retrograde in Aries challenges our communication and relationship dynamics, especially for those with a lot of fiery energy. The Sun conjunct Saturn in Pisces asks us to align our visions and our dreams with practical, tangible actions. A total lunar eclipse in Virgo shakes up our health, our habits, and our overall sense of well-being. And then Mercury in retrograde in Aries warns us to proceed with caution in terms of communication and decision-making. These transits might leave you feeling unsettled and overwhelmed. It's no surprise. It's very, very intense energy. And it's actually kind of a practice round for more intense energy coming later this month. But it's also an opportunity to grow and to transform a lot quicker than we can when things are just kind of easy flowing. So learn from the challenges. Steel yourself. You might find that you are actually a lot more resilient than you have been giving yourself credit for, and this is an opportunity to see that. I'd love to hear which transit resonates the most with you. Perhaps you are already anticipating a certain one of these. Drop me a comment down below and let's have a conversation. And if you'd like more personalized insights into how this will affect your unique chart and in which area of your life you will be experiencing these shifts, then you can book a personal reading through the link in the description box. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more astrology insights. And don't forget to enjoy the journey, even when things take a chaotic turn. You're not alone in this. Let's grow together.